Hi everyone, welcome back to the CAIRS app. I'm going to take you through a little walkthrough as an advisor of the different features and functionality of the dashboard and some of the services that you can use. So we'll just go through just the basics. We won't go in depth, but we will go through the basics of these. So I've already walked through the top menu in different sessions, but I'm going to walk you through just a couple of other things that you can do and just talk about them, and then there'll be individual sessions on each one of these. So the things that we haven't touched on, number one, the client manager. And we'll do an in-depth session on this, and this allows you to obviously manage your clients. We also have a very important section right in the middle here, which is this little drop down. And this is where you actually select the client you want to work with. So whichever client is selected here, everything below this will feature that client. So if we choose our client who we signed up in a separate session, if you go and watch the client sign up session, you'll actually see we signed up a client. You'll actually see I'm now working with that client. I know I am because I can see their picture and their name is there, and so I know who they are. And there's a whole bunch of things that I can do with them. We've already been through plan, and there is no plan yet for this particular client. Where if we wanted to do a plan, you can go and watch the creating a plan. And if we wanted to work with sessions, you could go and have a look at creating sessions for this. We won't go through that in depth. But there's other things that we can do here. We can book calendar appointments with our clients. Again, I'm not going to do any of this here. I just want to show you what we can do. We can also advance what session we're on. So, what session are we on with this client? Maybe we've got 6 sessions in total that we're going to do with them, and we're on session 2. This will affect when you go into the sessions part. It'll automatically go into whatever session you're on to remind you what you're doing. And everything below here will also work on the session number. So, for example, if we do session slides, tips, it'll all work on that session number. I'm going to show you that in in-depth sessions, but let's just talk about them. So we can build up slides. If I click on here, these are slides. This is basically information based on the session that we're about to do or we're doing with our client that we can do. Now, slides are just for us, and it's just a copy and paste. We don't build the actual slides or the deck for you. We just give you information using AI, plus anything you want to add in where you can build slides. There's an in-depth session that'll be run on that, so please look out for that. Now, session tips, these are shared with your client, and these are tips and tricks based on the actual session information that is provided. So an example would be if we had a plan. Let me go back to my one where I have a plan. This is, for example, session 1 is setting financial goals and analyzing credit reports. That means that we're on session 1. Everything is now based on session 1. If we have a look at session 1, setting financial goals and analyzing credit report, we actually have no detail for the session. So, we've done this before. I'm just going to create some detail for the session. And then what we'll show you is that detail that we've created for that session, plus the actual session itself, we can then go and generate slides. We can then go and generate tips on. So let's just give this a few seconds to run, and you'll be able to see that. So the reason there is no data here is in a previous session we cleared this all out, so we're doing it again. But there it is there. So there's a bunch of information, setting financial goals. We've been through this before, so please follow a different session if you want to see how to edit and work with this. But if we have a look, we're on session 1 and we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Again, if we go into session slides, we're working with session 1 right now. If I click generate slides, we'll generate slides based on session 1, and we can use that for our own. If we go into tips, it's exactly the same for session 1, and we can generate tips for session 1. So that's what that is all based on. Okay, let's move on a little bit. We have what we call the client mini questionnaire. This is exactly as it sounds. I can ask my client, and remember, we're always working with the selected client. So which client do we want to work with? We're working with that client, and we want to ask them a question, and that question is, what is your current credit score? It doesn't matter if it's related or not, but I'm going to hit save there, and our client will now get notified that there's a new question for them, and they can go and answer it in their dashboard. Again, if you want to see that, there'll be a special session on that. Let's go to page 2 of our dashboard. A couple of other things. We have general notes. This allows us to take notes for a session. Yes, there'll be a full session on how to take general notes. This is a full general notes section. We can share notes with one client, share notes with all of our clients. We can also share videos and so on, which is very cool. We have a small reminders section. This is just a tasks and reminders section for yourself, a little personal section, just in case there's things that you want to remind yourself about. And again, depending on the session, so it's all related to the particular session that we're on. We can also create a profile for our client, a client profile. This is based on all of the information that's been put in, but there'll be a session on this, and I'll show you this in action. We can also update our client intake form. You'll see that this particular client has just signed on. So the new here tells me that there's new answers here. So I can go through here and check what they've done. I can even edit what they've done. I might even want to work with them and change their answers or update their answers at any time. It allows you to work with the client intake form. I've showed this before, but this is the client has paid. If you remove this, the client will be locked out of the system. So it's up to you. It's a little bit of power that you have to lock your clients out of the system till they've paid. So use with caution. And you're also able, if you click on here, to send them a reminder to pay you. We've shown this before. So whichever one it happens to be. And this is our file manager where we can manage files. We can manage files, 3 different sections here. We can manage files that are videos. We can share files globally, or we can just share files with our client that we're working with, i.e. locally. So we have local, global, and video sharing all available from this one screen. There'll be a full session on that. So yep, that pretty much wraps up a quick feature overview of the Advisor dashboard. Thank you for watching.